Alright, I'm going to see if I'm able to make this video quickly. Got a little bit of time again before my work, so I'll give it a shot. So I was on Twitter, and I see this post. Technically, it's from Andrew Wilson, but the original is actually from the Whatever podcast. It goes a little something like this. It's a picture of a girl on TikTok, I assume, saying, or captioning the video at least, "Nobody talks about the guilt of not liking back the kindest guy you know would treat you right." Which is pretty interesting to me, the degree of self-awareness and the fact that there's even guilt associated with that at all. The extent of which any young lady really feels this guilt, or how prevalent it is to the general population, gen pop of ladies, you could say, I'm not sure. I haven't really encountered very many women. In fact, to be quite honest with you, this might be one of the few times I've ever seen anyone be this self-aware and even put it out into the ethos for discussion, a woman particularly. So how much this affects ladies, I couldn't tell you, right? Now, what's peculiar to me are the responses, right? Because guilt is interesting. It assumes responsibility. Guilt assumes that you feel bad. You feel like you've done something wrong. You slighted an individual, which is, again, quite interesting that it's a woman saying this, for this or that reason. And so what Brian says is, can someone explain this female phenomenon? Now, there's a little bit of a problem here. The question is a little too open-ended. Are you saying women rejecting men who are kind and would treat them well? Explain that phenomena? Of course, that can be done. Or are you asking us to explain the guilt part? That could also be done. As such, which question are you asking? Are you saying the whole thing? We could do it. I can take a crack at it, most certainly. But what was peculiar to me are some of the responses. Now, particularly, the one that really got me, the one that I thought was interesting was the one Andrew Wilson made. And I've spoken to Andrew Wilson a few times. I like him a lot. I really enjoy Andrew Wilson's contents, his debates. Excellent. I like his tweets. We're here. So this is more out of respect for Andrew Wilson, because my main man, he's been married for too long. He does not understand that we are dealing with a new breed of bullshittery when it comes to trying to court the modern woman. Like, this isn't your standard 52 card deck that we're playing with when it comes to the ladies of modernity. All right, the ones that us millennial and Gen Z young men have to deal with. Like, they're a new breed, man, and they're just built different. They are built in the most counterintuitive, dumbass of ways. And even the explanations of, their operations is also counterintuitive and dumbass. I will get to it. I'll show you. But particularly Andrew Wilson, he's not really the problem. But there's other responses we'll get to. But Andrew's response to this is, "For the same exact reason I generally loathe nice. It's a liar's condition. Be good, sure, but being nice is a societal form of conditioning for control. That's why women are always nice to each other until the other woman isn't around, that is, conditioned to lie." This, of course, assumes, or this projects at least, that the men who are nice to women actually are not only just being controlled, but in truth do not genuinely feel the affection or the care they have for the woman. It's subterfuge at the very least. As such, there are women who lament this, at least women who also project this onto the so-called nice guy, which I always find laughable, and I can always tell them they can politely miss me and they can politely shut the fuck up when somehow they have two kids from two different baby daddies, one of whom doesn't have a job, and the other guy whose job is a package handler at FedEx or UPS and doesn't pay child support. Politely miss me with this idea that the nice guys are the ones who are utilizing subterfuge, deception, and women are so scared of all of that, so they have to take the true, honest bullshit of a shitty male who will not take care of his children. It's nonsensical. It is. When you really start thinking about it, it's a projection only and a trauma response and a belief that people cannot be honest and upfront and direct with how they feel. Is it the case that people definitely operate with subterfuge, mistrust, and deception? Absolutely. As we see with young ladies, they do 100%. But I think Andrew confuses the pleasantry of female deception with nicety or nice guys or kind men, because in reality, being kind is different from being nice, only so far as how people perceive it. But we'll get to that in a moment. The way that women operate with each other, and I've seen this in real time, it's hilarious, is pleasant. And I made a tweet back to him, and it's like, you're confusing pleasant for nice. Pleasant is a general shallow display of kindness or nicety in order to avoid conflict, right? It's as such how you would say a waitress, despite the fact that someone has made a rude comment about her, perhaps her body, her waist, her hips, or whatever, smiles through it and still says, "Would you like a glass of water?" It's being pleasant. It's avoiding the conflict. It's not engaging. As such, in reality, she's offended, she's annoyed, but because she wants a tip or she wants to keep her job, she avoids the conflict. That is passivity. And that's what people are truly describing oftentimes when they talk about the so-called nice guy. I've made numerous videos about this over the years. You can revisit them if you can find them on YouTube. The YouTube search engine is trash, unfortunately. But there is a confusion between kindness, and that is acting for the sake of the other person, and passivity, that is avoiding conflict and not engaging with any disrespect or nonsense that might have occurred in front of you. As such, we find it in another tweet that someone made in response to this. I'll go to the tweet. It's insanity to me that this is how people always choose to operate. So in response to Brian, or the Whatever Podcast original tweet asking for an explanation, Chris Wall says, "Because excessively nice guys are often fake, desperate losers, spineless. You don't have to be mean, you just need a spine. Brian is a good example. Pushes back on women's bullshit without being mean." Well, Brian is actually mean. He is actually excessive. He yells at them sometimes. He is quick to being frustrated, and I'm not mad at him for it, right? He's a showrunner that is on his own show, and I think he actually has OCD. I think I could be wrong there, but he's a very particular person, and so he does snap at these women sometimes, like very quickly. Like he is mean to them. He is legitimately mean to them sometimes. So I think he's actually a piss poor example. Ironically, he's actually a great example insofar as I think the next tweet over, someone says, "Well, Brian's still single," and Chris replies, "Well, like Brian still has like girlfriend applications." If anything, this is proof that you're correct. You don't need to be nice if anything. Brian's not nice. He's not kind. He's an asshole sometimes, straight up. And yet, women still want to be with him. I don't think Brian, in, I would say real life, behind the scenes, is a crass ass. I don't think that for a moment. I imagine that he would be generally pleasant to actually spend time with and chat with, if it's just person to person. But sometimes he is an asshole. He is just mean to the women, right? Myron Gaines is exactly the same, and we'll discuss him, in the near future. The fact remains, right, is that like this idea that women avoid nice men because they perceive a deception is only projection. It's also just not. It's not true, right? Like, you have to assume that no one can ever actually truly like you. No one can ever actually really care about you. You think that something bad is going to happen. That's the anxiety that the women are feeling when they're being treated well by these men. Ironically, this is the problem. Everyone always wants to find fault with the men. In that situation, it has nothing to do with the man. He didn't do anything wrong. It's the woman's entire traumatic brain scheme that is projecting onto him something that's not true. It's her trauma. And the idea that we spend all this time constantly trying to edit males' behavior and tell them that one of the biggest problem is that you're, first of all, here's how I know from the depths of my heart that this idea of having a spine is what women respect. This idea of being upfront or being honest is that's not true. I am upfront and honest with women all of the time. The only thing that splits the difference of whether the woman cares about what I have to say, at least in any sexual romantic way, is just being attracted. It's her just being attracted to me. That's it. It's the game, set, match. I've spent literal years with intent to try to disprove this, and I cannot do it. I can't do it, and I've tried so very hard. I don't know. I accept it. I just have to accept the reality of the current situation we live in. There's no choice at this point. The fact remains, I have always been upfront, honest, and kind to women. They've never respected it any more than they didn't before. They never wanted to engage with me further because I was all these great things. It just so happened I was these great things, and they were attracted to me. That's how young women operate. That's the entire schema of what we're dealing with when it comes to trying to have relationships. The crazy thing about the original tweet, or the original TikTok, I guess, was that the woman is approaching self-awareness. She's coming very close, and she feels guilt. Again, this is actually quite shocking to me, where she is trying to understand, or she's bringing to attention that there is a self-awareness, there is a reality that some women can look a nice man who knows they're going to be treated well in the face, not like him, but she doesn't complete the cycle, or she doesn't complete the full thought process, that the reason why she's like this is just because she's shallow. She's not attracted to him. But you see, very many women don't want to accept, and there's a lot of men too who don't want to accept this. I don't really know what it is. Maybe it's because of the black pill, the incels, the red pill, the this, the that. I don't know. But there's the great pretending that women are not equally, if not more so. I think they would have to be more so shallow than men. And what this phenomena is either one of two things. Maybe there could be more, but from my experience, two things. One, trauma. Two, shallowness. One, trauma. Because she has been mistreated by very many people before, the upfront kindness seems like deception. Why? Because her trauma, her track record, all the bad things that happened to her is influencing how she is addressing or how she's dealing with the current phenomena. As such, that's nobody's fault. But it is her problem. You could say it's the fault of whoever abused her, the fault of whoever betrayed her, the fault of whoever did X, Y, Z. But the reality is, no nice guy, no kind man did anything wrong in that situation. Even in the other situation, right, where the first we have to deal with trauma, the second is the woman's not attracted to him. I guess you could say, I don't know, maybe he's fat. That's his fault. Maybe he doesn't take care of his skin. That could be his fault. His beard's unkempt. There are some things you could take responsibility for not being aesthetically presentable. And I think it's fair that you have to have a standard of presentation in society. If you represent a job, or you just represent yourself even, that you shouldn't, be excessively dirty unless you're working in the field. That just makes sense, right? You shouldn't be, slovenly, even if you're just going to the store. I think that that's fair. The problem, however, is that the standard of attraction is not presentation in an appropriate manner in an appropriate venue. It is excessiveness. And as such, women who, and this isn't all of them, but the women who lament the beauty standards, the women who lament sexual objectification, of course, they have this strong cognitive dissonance in that they don't address the reality that they operate the same exact way. That males also have a beauty standard. Males must also have a standard of acceptance in what is acceptable courtshiping, or what is an acceptable suitor is the correct way probably to actually say that. As such, women this woman or some of these women are slamming their head against that cognitive dissonance, that they are not accepting that they are a shallow motherfucker too. And that's what the guilt is. And they're not accepting or coming to terms with the fact that I'm shallow and you're not the guy that I want. You treat me well, but I don't do nothing for me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of makes me feel awkward. It should make me feel good, but I don't care. You're not the nigga I want, so I don't really give a fuck. Now, if they were to just say that, right, we would just be communicating directly. We'd understand each other and we can move the fuck on. But here's the real problem, and it's ironic that people worry so much about the deception of men, but in reality, it's the deception of women to themselves that's getting us here. See, when we go back to that original tweet that Brian from the Whatever Podcast is making, can you explain this phenomenon? Again, what people are thinking, which is fair, the question was open-ended, was that why are women not attracted to nice men? That's what people were interpreted that question. But what the woman is really saying, which should probably also be addressed, was why do they feel guilty about not accepting these good men? They spend such a long time proclaiming that's what they want on the front end, and then on the back end, somehow they're single. Somehow they're a single mother. Somehow they have a longer track record of men disregarding them, disrespecting them, abusing them, sometimes outright, a longer track record of men being cruel to them or neglectful to them than they have ever had a track record of men being good to them. As such is the case, people don't understand that in a world where we superimpose attraction above everything, the people who are attractive, who have abundance, can become flippant, disrespectful, and sometimes outright cruel. When women are only interacting with men like that, their perception of men is influenced as such, and so they perceive men as cruel individuals. They're not actually going the full mile of true sexual reproduction as such it is to make people and have families, but only as a source of validation and only as a source of fun, only as a source of entertainment. This leads us to another conundrum when it comes to the nice guy phenomenon. As such, if women are objectifying males to the extent that we are an experience for them, we're a video game to them as video games are to us, as in something to entertain us, something to take our mind or occupy our time, then a nice guy who is not a quote-unquote challenge is boring. Is that not interesting how they use the term boring to describe a human being? How can a human being be boring? Boring means that you're not being mentally stimulated. They have no hobbies, no goals, no attributes or anything of which you could attach yourself to. Is that actually true of the nice guy? It's what people say. It's what people project. Because they always have to blame the nice guy. But in reality, boredom means that you're not being emotionally stimulated. It's not even necessarily a reflection of the thing you're talking about. It's a reflection of how you feel. I get bored with Grey's Anatomy. I don't give a fuck about what goes on in Grey's Anatomy, but it's mentally stimulating to the women that watch it. Grey's Anatomy isn't boring. I'm bored. It's a reflection of how I feel about the content I'm watching. You see what I'm saying? Most people don't understand that. Most people don't go the full extra mile to really think and really ascribe humanity to young men, that we're not supposed to be entertainment to women. We're supposed to be relationship partners and parents to children. That is what the sexual relationship marriage is all about when it comes to men and women. This has all been eroded and disconnected. That's why we're here. That's why a woman is not attracted to nice guys. Because if her mindset was truly geared towards a father of whom will be in her children's lives, you would want a kind, nice man to wrangle some children. That doesn't mean pushover. As such, everyone loves to say, well, women aren't attracted to nice guys because they're pushovers. It's not because they're pushovers, it's because it's boring. It's no challenge. The same way you don't like an easy video game, the same way you would be bored on the easy difficulty of any video game you played, or the same way you're bored by green eggs and ham as an adult. It's no challenge. You're not actually imagining anything, right? You know what I'm saying? You're not being mentally stimulated. In the same way the woman's not being emotionally stimulated. Again, all of this comes back to the disconnection of sex from reproduction, from marriage as a responsibility to children that you've had with a spouse, with a partner. That's what this is all about, really. So when it comes to explanation, why is this phenomenon a thing? Again, it's not about nice guys are dishonest. Perhaps some of them are, but fuckboys are also dishonest. Fuckboys lie to women too, dumbass. I'm going to be with you. I don't talk to any other woman. Fucking lie. I want a relationship with you. Fucking lie. Look, listen, I gave up all my other hoes. Lie. Cheaters that women pick. Liars. Stay. But I thought women didn't like deception. Use your brain. It's bullshit. Absolute fucking poppycock. More than that, again, I have always been nice and upfront and honest and direct to women. There's very many women that don't want to hear the truth. You be honest to them and they don't want to hear it. They want the comfortable lie. They want it. Whole another discussion for another time. But the fact remains, people are very quick to blame men for as always a point of failure, that they're always doing something wrong. But in reality, we're dealing with a group of traumatized individuals who don't respect our humanity and are not geared towards the truth and the function of what a relationship is even for. Women are not concerned with fathers to their children. Game, set, match. It begins and ends with they are not concerned for your health. They're not concerned for you as a male. What do you need to be taken care of, to be loved, to feel valued, to feel respected? They're not concerned. That's why we're here, team. It's not about the fact that a woman thinks that a nice guy is operating in subterfuge. Once again, there's plenty of promiscuous males, high value males, who just lie. Some of them tell the truth, sure. Now, why do the women stay? Because he has something that she wants. The whole pushover thing. I mean, it's got to be one of the most counterintuitive things in the world. This idea that, like, again, which is insanity to me, but maybe we'll have to go into more detail about that because this video is almost like, this video is like 20 minutes long. I'll wrap up the video by saying this. I'm actually surprised that any woman would even mention feeling guilt about not liking a good man that will treat her well, because it means they have a soul. If they have a soul, it means they can actually reflect and make the choice to be different and be better. The truth of the matter is, this is actually a good thing. It's a good thing that they feel guilty. It's a good thing because now we can actually do something and really address what's going on behind that. The problem is that people are more comfortable with criticizing men 10 out of 10 times that they end up laying out criticisms that are unreasonable. Again, the pushover thing has nothing to do with the man being spineless or being weak or anything like that. A man can kill any woman with one of his hands and the other chopped off. He could still kill her. Men aren't weak, but it's a perception. It's all in her head. It's in her brain. It's not reality. It's not true. She's deceiving herself to believe a man is weak if he's being a pushover. In reality, the man cares about how the woman feels. Not only have men been trained since they were children to spoil women, to coddle women, to elevate women. It's insane to me that we train young men to do this, and then we besmirch them years later when the fruits of their training has been shown. Nonsense to me, but again, another video for another time. But again, if any woman perceives a man as weak, it is clear, silly foolishness. Also combined with the fact that didn't we have the dumbass bear bullshit thing? The cognitive dissonance is madness. Men who are pushovers are weak, but strange men I don't know are dangerous and strong. Nigga, what the fuck is it then? Bloody hell! Are we bloody dangerous and too strong? Or are we too fucking weak? Makes no sense. And of course it doesn't make any sense, right? When men aren't humans, when men aren't people, when men don't have the luxury of their complexity, it is easy to have these cognitive, contradicting, nasty thoughts. Also combine the fact that women aren't a monolith either. They have their own multiple motivations too, where some women will purposely put themselves in dangerous situations to feel alive, to feel that emotional stimulation. Again, if you're encountering that type of woman, you being a pushover, you being a nice guy is not going to stimulate her emotionally. That's her folly. It's not a nice guy's fault. It's not. That's her trauma. That's her using a male as a drug. That's her. And people are not very comfortable pointing the finger at women and saying, maybe y'all niggas need to start being better people at some point. The issue can't constantly be that nice guys, that kind men, that good men are at every single turn doing something counterintuitively wrong, especially when we know that women are not trying to marry us and love us and treat us well. So, I don't know, what's going on there? But we also know that even just from their own mouths, from their own perception, that they've encountered such shitty, terrible men. They're giving their bodies up. They're having children, the baby trap niggas that don't want to be with them. Once again, if you're baby trapping men that don't want to be with you, that would mean that you had never at any point actually considered the life that you would be giving the baby that you just gave birth to. Insanity, is it not? And as such, we have that. Not just with groupies with athletes, but with women with just the local Chad, the local Tyrone. They do it. We don't talk about that now, do we? But don't worry, we'll get to it. We'll talk about it. We'll get to it. So to wrap this video up, I've been here for a lot longer than I thought I should have been. My bad. The nigga talks a lot, but there's a lot to get through because there's just so much to say and unpack with all of this. And even just with this video, there's still more to unpack. But I'm going to leave it here with this. Honestly, it's a great thing the woman felt guilty. It's a great thing. And hopefully we can get more women to actually touch that part of their soul and prove that they have one, so we know that they can improve and be better people, because that's just the first step. The problem is we need to actually take it to task and say, ladies, maybe you guys are doing something wrong. Maybe it is goofy that you find all these different reasons to explain why nice guys are bad, and then on the back end have all of these negative experiences with other niggas who didn't like you and didn't care about you. Maybe y'all doing something wrong. I don't know. Maybe we should stop trying to tell men in the most counterintuitive, dumbass of ways to change and be, honestly, kind of worse people. With that being said, I certainly hope you guys got something out of today's video. And if you did, I don't know, man, go and click the like button. Go and click the subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I will see you cool cats soon.